Itong film pala ay siguro brief lang. Sinimulan ko ng 2013. Siguro na-invite lang ako sa isang DoQ workshop. So, super wala talaga hindi ko talaga intention na ganito yung magiging film ko. That was 2013. Nag-pitch ako ng idea about documentary, just questioning ano na ba yung I just questioned the Aquino administration dahil sabi nila may economic development ng Philippines, and I just want to ask a basic question kung ito ba'y nag-reflect sa atin. Ganun lang kasimple yung idea ko. And then, nung nakapasok ako sa DoQ workshop ng GERTI, nag-evolve siya in a way kasi parang I don't want it to be journalistic. Tapos naging personal. Tapos pumasok na yung style ko kasi I started as animation and then naging siya. And then, ayun, pinag-rumble na namin yung documentary animation. Kaya siya nabuo na ganito. So, ang tagal na ng 5 years ko siyang kinomit. And then, nakakuha ng funding, kaya naging ganyan siya ngayon.
There's no doubt about the personal approach or perspective that the filmmaker has brought in. And mainly, it is something that is not easy to present. No? One sexuality nga bale, and I can see a lot of parallels in what Nawruz has been doing. Kasi, of course, in my own film, I also, coming out ko rin yung pelikula. No? Ito siguro, we are a generation born to film. No? Kung saan hindi na tayo nagsasalita sa ating mga diaries, meaning written diaries, but instead, it is to film that we confess ourselves. You can just imagine exactly yung vulnerability ng person, and sa case na ito nga bali, dahil yung director mismo has made the film, he reveals himself to a much wider public. And as you very well know, sa personality ni Nawruz, as medyo introverted, mahiyain, all right. That scene talking to his mom is an act of courage, a big act of courage, kabale. I remember I have my scene in my film Private Wars, wherein I did the same thing, and mothers are mothers. No? Whereas sa case ko, bale, my mother immediately accepted me, and I know she's the only one who really in my family who would really accept me. In your case, meron pang distansya muna, no? And that's quite a difficult thing to do. So that's one approach siguro na appreciate natin, that it's a personal film. There is so much investment that's being given by the director. On the other hand, there's something that is, for me, very, very significant in the making of the film. Medyo academic ako ng konti, but let's not really be afraid of this kind of discussion. The film is really one of the rare works that I've seen wherein there is this articulation of political economy. Hindi nyo siguro nahahalata ito, no? But the film is about, and in political documentary, you usually talk about commodities. No? Pag-aralan nyo mabuti ang buong pelikula, at ngayon tinatanong ko kung parang nahati ang pelikula sa huli. No? It became so emotional, but and that created some kind of a problem for me. But now I think I'm beginning to see that one led to the other. Almost 2/3 of the film is really about political economy. It's about prices. It's about values. And I'm not talking about emotional values, which later on became an emotional value. But earlier, it's about, well, if you've read your Marx, there is the use value and the exchange value. And all of this you can see in commodities. And commodities, as well as all these values, create the social relations that we are in. Unbelievable. I mean, Nawruz, really congratulations to this. But, alalahanin natin, ano yung mga pinag-uusapan niya, di ba? Products. Ano pinag-uusapan? Renta ng space. Alright? And in political economy, literally, you're talking about rent. Rent is the valuation of land or objects, properties, etc., etc. And this film just revolved all around this issue. And the amazing thing about it is, yung camera na ginamit mo has the capacity to distort. So ang aesthetics ng pelikula suddenly is a vivid instantiation of the subject of objects and commodification. Gusto ko lang i-refresh sa minds ninyong abale. Did it occur to you, did you even notice it or were sensitive that objects suddenly became distorted and large? That they were actually just taking our attention even more than usually the dominant presence of a character. I was not looking anymore at Nawruz while you were shooting it, but I was looking at all of these objects almost in an expressionist film, almost like almost like the cabinet of Dr. Caligari, or suddenly the mise-en-scène, the scenario just started to becoming distorted. Are you getting me? And does it now begin to do you now begin to recall objects where suddenly, if they are placed in front of you, were suddenly just huge? If you are nodding your heads, tingnan natin kung you really were affected by this. Give me at least 3 objects that look distorted. Sige nga. The cell phone. Kape. That's great. Let's not just focus on you. Tingnan natin ang iba dito. But it's correct, no? Umiinom siya ng kape, and then suddenly the glass was just bigger than his head. And in line with what I'm saying here, I'm sure Nawruz was not. Did you take up political economy? Ang maganda dito nga bali, I teach political economy, of course, pang MA nga bali yun, no? But it's very seldom to find films that have for their topic nga bali political economy, and the film itself suddenly is a visual iteration or articulation of what it is trying to talk about, meaning the dominance of objects and commodities, no? For example, beauty products. Naalala nyo, they kept on moving it nga bale. The beauty products, again, you were not conscious about this, but things just came so naturally that I was just amazed just looking at your film. Sabi ko, oh my God, this film is really about a very difficult topic, which is political economy of living in a bliss house, in a government housing unit. All right. Anybody else who would like to say the visual experience they had of the film? I want you to, to really sort of internalize what we have just seen. Any other objects that you remember? Yes. The buildings, exactly. Lalo pa pag gumagalaw na siya, di ba? Suddenly, the buildings are of course, I'm exaggerating, but, subconscious ang dating sa ating nabali. But as he moves around, distorted na halos ang buildings, ang feeling ko lang, the natural thing is, oh my God, the buildings are going to cave in. I'm oversensitive, of course. No? But the building has that effect of sort of caving in on him, right? Ano pa? Yung sinisipa ng mama na gustong the EPS. Di ba? The EPS, all these things, I just want you to be sensitive about this. No? Objects become larger than themselves. And what better way to critique political economy than really to talk about those exaggerated, distorted objects? The film, let me just say, really just commanded so much of our sensual response to the film. Now, talking about this, Bale, and by the way, let me just say now, there's so many parallels in our lives, right, in our films. I lived in bliss for 15 years. Do you now own a unit?
No. Wala. I update ngayon eh.
Well, that's where the difference. That's where the difference is. For 15 years, I was able to own a unit and in fact sell it to buy my own condo. All right. So you have a long way to go, but you are just half my age right now. So how old are you?
33.
33. You've got 7 years to own a condo. All right. By the age of 40, because well, at least ang ganda ng bahay niyo sa Cagayan de Oro, whereas again, the big difference between us is that I'm not embarrassed at all with this. We live in the squatters in Iloilo City, no? And so having a space of my own is really it was a ruthless ambition for me because you have an experience of your family being kicked out of your relative's house at 12 o'clock at night, just because you never really had a home of your own, diba? So for me, and then and I would sleep on the floor, everybody else, the whole story of being dispossessed of all of these things. So I think I deserve something more, and I see why not? It's a good ambition. And talking about space, bale, ang ganda din ng pelikula because it articulates space in the city, and the city has makikita mo has more sa totoo lang, ang notion ng space sa city mo is paliit ng paliit ng paliit eh. It's amazing how the space are all cupped up in bliss, no? Kwarto mo talaga yun una, na pagbukas ng pintuan mo, yun na yun. Exactly how I felt. No? Talagang, if they can just rent out, Bliss unit is as big as this, or even less. Maybe tanggalin mo pa ang 1/5 nito nga bali. This is all you've got. And then you start cutting it up, di ba? The notion of space. The notion of space, physical space, urbanized space, but then there's also a space which is the urban space, but there is also the emotional space. If you remember that, and you visually showed it na naman with the distance between you and your mother, nagkadistansya sila ng nanay niya. So, Nawruz is not just talking about physical space, but he is also articulating emotional spaces, all right? And how emotional spaces can also be very much shaped by the physical space that we are in. I don't know if there will still be an effort from your end to further extend the film, no? But there are a lot of bitin issues for me lang. All right. I don't know how you feel about it, but towards the end, there was a kind of a hasty ending of the film lang bale, no? Really just trying to wrap it up bale. Naging self-reflective, naging self-reflexive ang pelikula, that suddenly naging meta film siya. It's a film thinking about its own making. So suddenly he won the pitching competition, and then it was a neat way of ending it up, no? So the film closed in on itself by reflecting exactly its own making. Still, it left a lot of things unresolved that I think the film itself, I can understand, cannot fully resolve because it has to be resolved in the real world. And to a certain point, that was kind of a witty thing for you to do, that your documentary points us back to the reality wherein, look, this film can only resolve so much, and it's and everything else, like housing, like sexuality and sexual emancipation, can really be resolved in the bigger world.
Siguro i-address ko yung question sa inyong dalawa. Yun, conscious ba yun when one makes a personal film, lalo na pag-documentary, conscious ba yun na what do I have to include, or what can I omit, or what should I omit dun sa pelikula? Siguro walk through na lang kami dun sa ganun process na.
Yes.
Siguro for me, halo-halo, both. May nakikita ko sa pelikula, na nakikita ko may string na feeling ko ito na yung ventriloquism na ano. Pero may point din na hindi ko din alam kasi ako na yung nandoon eh. So doon na siguro ako na-excite, kaya patuloy ko siyang ginagawa kasi may certain pa rin of excitement and questions na nandoon. So, both.
But in the process, iniisip mo na, ito yung papanoorin ng tao or filter mo rin yung...
Well, hindi lang din kasi ako sa totoo lang, nung nandun na sa workshop, dinevelop ko to, hindi lang ako. So maraming taong involved. So may mentors, tapos mayroong mga filmmakers themselves. So at first talaga sobrang magulo siya for me kasi di ko alam na magiging ganito siya. Magiging personal siya, magkakaroon siya ng animation, tapos gagawin ko siya in GoPro. So sobrang ang gulo niya before. So di ko na alam kung ano na yung kinukuha ko. Ang dami kong mga files of digital na sa terabyte. And then eventually at some point nung nakabuo na ako ng 45 minutes and then natapos na yung workshop. Ayun, akala ko tapos na yon. And then eventually nung natapos ko na yung pag-work ko sa human nature, doon ko nakita ulit yung 45 minutes na yon at nagkataon na merong DoQ Sport Incheon. So in-apply ko siya. Doon nakita ko ulit. So parang nakita ko ulit yung cut ko in a fresh eyes. So ko, oh my God, parang pa rin, parang relevant pa rin nung material. Feeling ko parang meron pa rin siyang nakikita ko siya ng arch, ng narrative arch. Pero why not sundan ko siya? Yung arch na yon, tapos hayaan ko yung mga scenes na yon, ako na yung gagawa nun for that film. So ayun, natanggap siya, and then eventually nagkaroon ako ng money to continue the film. So, ayun, both at hindi lang ako na ang gumawa nun. So, hindi ko lang siya personal film, nabuo siya dahil sa feedback din ng mga tao. Yung issue ng representation, paano ko ni-represent yung sarili ko, yung issue ko, yung pinagmulang ko ng bansa ko, alam mo yung ganun. So, nabuo siya from those And even from the last sa post-prod, nagkaroon pa ng rough cut na consultation. So talagang all throughout the phase ng film, maraming involved, hindi lang ako. Yeah.
So I love since nandyan ka na sa usapin ng yung ibang, nasasala rin siya ng ibang tao. I think yung God Bliss is one of the first wave digital films na going through this co-production path. Jewel, ito, actually...
Co-production?
International co-production path. Na nasasala siya ng sensibilities ng co-production, international co-production. How did that affect?
Well, it affected also in the film sa kung ano yung pinapakita ko din kasi dahil mga Koreans yung gustong mag-co-produce ng film, meron din silang nakitaan na issue na relatable din sa kultura nila, lalo na sa millennials nila. So nagkaroon din ng kumbaga nagsuggest sila na baka pwede mo tong i-develop mo tong issue na to about young people who don't have work. Kasi yan yung sa kanila. So i-develop mo siya kasi feeling namin relatable siya sa mga young Koreans. So, sinali namin yun. Ano pa ba? Usually yun. So, it did affect din. Okay ba sa akin yun? Ako, okay lang ako kasi may pera silang binigay. Sige na. Ayun. Pero hindi ko siya in-expect. Wala akong, talagang hinayaan ko lang kung ano yung naging resulta, tingnan ko paulit-ulit. Sabi ko, sige, okay na to. May nagtanong nga sa akin before, paano mo nalaman na tapos na yung film mo? Tapos sabi ko, yun, hindi ko masabi. Nasabi ko siya dun sa post-prod. Sabi ko, okay na to dahil ipapalabas na rin siya sa National Geographic Korea. Hayaan natin, sige na, go na. Ayan.
Wala akong co-production for the films that I've made. So in other words, either they were in Super 8, as well as even if there's outside funding, it didn't go through any pitching or any of this. So I was set out to really do my own films. And maybe you've heard about this, that the personal is political. That was the card that I played. All right? Calculated. It's really calculated that, I'm going to reveal myself. I'm going to out myself in this film because I want this effect. All right? That, look at me as a homosexual. Look at me as myself. And this is a political statement. The emotional part of it is the personal part. All right? But even the emotions, it is very necessary talaga that, I'm talking of the late 80s, early 90s. Ilan ba talaga ang self-confessed? And ilan ba talaga ang magre-reveal ng sarili nila? Sino sa wave of homosexual filmmakers? Lino Broca, Ismael Bernal, alam halos ng lahat ng mga bakla ito, but none of them came out and really revealed themselves. In fact, when that topic is being brought up in public discourses, they parry it off at walang may gustong mag-reveal ng sarili niya na, well, I made Macho Dancer or I made Manila by Night as a homosexual, as an act of as a homosexual, whatever, expression. In other words, leave the private, personal self behind and just look at my work. This is my public persona. No, not in my case. Oliver was a political articulation. Tingnan mong bakla. Eto siya. Nakakahiya, puta, pobre, ano pa? Eto, smell him, smell her, taste him, taste us. Eto ang bakla. But as you can very well see, we present ourselves as in all our vulnerability. Did you feel vulnerable when you made the film?
So, nandyan lang ako sa tabi. Yung ganon. Titingnan ko kayo lahat I mean, well, napalabas na siya sa labas. So, sobrang interesting sa akin na
Pero yun ang feeling namin palagi every time our films are being shown, no? But I learned to be as courageous. If it is an act of courage to make that film, so much more to be courageous in accounting for what you've done. So people look at our acts of courage sa bagay na ito, and we are saying this, I guess, because at least I know of one here who's going to also make, and I think I asked her to come here because she's also going to do her personal film. An amazing story that both of us were just crying, all right, as she was also crying herself. There are some of you here I know, hindi lang siya, no, who are looking for maybe pegs or models or templates for films like this. Pagdating sa babae, I don't know of any documentary in this country that has been made revealing themselves. Mukhang mas matatapang ang mga bakla. Nauna-una lang kami ng konti. What have we to lose?
Exactly. Yeah.
What have we to lose? And for women, I mean, I don't know, we're not abali. But all we're saying is, but ako, Nawruz, at least, I have traveled to so many festivals, abali. Ang model ko actually were women, women who really revealed themselves. At sabi ko, putya, kung kaya ng babaeng ito, it's just perhaps taking some little time here in this country. But let me just tell you, being in the Berlin Film Festival or in some other festivals, documentaries that I've seen made by women declaring exactly their own sexuality, for example, or lesbian films, for example. Sabi ko, putya, kung kaya niya ito, doon ako nag-derive ng aking courage, no? And strength, and then applied it to myself. The voices of those women are still very strong para sa akin, no? Some of them were even showing their vaginas, na may regla, for example. I mean, di ba? I mean, oh my God! I mean, how personal can you get? Di ba? I mean, di ba? Na talaga, unbelievable if they could do that. And that's it. This is a question of present. So, are we a bunch of exhibitionists? Are we a bunch of... At least si Nawruz, wala ka nakikitang naghubad. Sa pelikula ko, you get to see, well, I'll go and watch Kaya pag well, at least, you know, I mean, di ba? I mean, sa kanya kanina hanggang, so, that was fun. Is that for real?
Di mali.
Yung lalaking
Oo.
nag-uusap kayo,
Oo.
talaga?
At
Go
saka,
on.
ano din siya, confident din siya na, sige, bahala ka na, papakita mo
Oo.
yan.
I was thinking that they would go inside a motel or something, you know. You know, which is a good resonance to you know, bliss units that are so small.
Baka hindi lang sumama siya.
O baka hindi na sinama. Di ba? Ano doon sa terabyte niya? Ano doon sa terabyte?
Papasok na.
Okay. Okay.
Away when you see him because of the distortion of the camera. We were forced to take a different look
Yeah.
at him also. Pero even the visual style made sense, the visual storytelling, like yung the selfies thing that I also will never be able to use in film. It made sense kasi even when everything looks crazy, he's
Absolutely.
always centered.
Absolutely.
So parang it was really this firm handle on his topic, even when everything looks really crazy and distorted. So visually, it really made sense. Tapos yung, gusto ko yung happy ending na you could have, our happy endings are not all going to be the same. And for some people, the happy ending, they would, like, sinabi niya rin sa amin, some people ask him, so, you got this award, and then people ask, but, are you still single now?
Oo. Ayaw ko sagutin. Yeah. Well, actually, nag-agree ako din sa ending. Well, may nakapansin na rin na parang feeling ko minadali mo yung ending, ano. Sabi ko, oo nga. Kasi may nahabol kaming, yun nga na programs. So sana kung nagkaroon ako ng time, it could have been different. Siguro, yeah. Ayun. Pero thank you sa pag-observe.
Ano kaya yung alternate endings?
Siguro hindi siya ganun ka, like, happy ending. Para pa rin siya, siguro, tanong pa rin siya na umiiral for me.
You have set out actually a very clear and powerful premise of the political economy of living in the city. Powerful yon na hindi na-resolve sa huli eh. I was just being nice also by saying to yung abali na, oo, sa huli, signifiers lang ito na it points back to reality where you can really resolve this. Because it will take another year or two to resolve exactly the issue of yung kabuhayan na yon. Nakuha mo ba? Ang dami mong sinet up na hindi mo tinahi sa huli eh. Such as, so nakuha mo ba talaga yung room mo? So, di ba tinanong ko lang ngayon ng abale and here in reality na in the film na yun nga hindi mo nabili ang unit na yon. That is quite a major flaw in the film because you did not address this. You did not I'm not necessarily calling for a closure, but you should have addressed it that it's not as easy as as one would like to think of it. Look, yung isa doon, yung kita, pinatayo niya ng bahay, ng ano niya, yung isa naman na napalya doon sa anong tawag nito? Sa paluwagan. Yung ikaw naman, umuwi ka sa inyo, kumusta talaga yung job mo sa freelance? In other words, this whole political economic theme suddenly was left hanging in the air. That's the only major flaw that I really saw. At ang nangyari nga bali is that, kaya sinabi ko kanina, mukhang may dalawang tema ang pelikula, yung isa naging emotional, no? If I were to be really Marxist sa bagay na ito, I would have insisted and looked for this, and one could really say, as I would teach in my political economy class, yan talaga political economy. There's no room for morality and emotions. And that is a major weakness, not of which reflected in the film, but which reflected in terms of your ideological position. Humarang yung mga emosyon natin, samantalang usapin dito ay tungkol sa kabuhayan at paano tayo mabubuhay. Hindi masyadong convincing yung argumento na pero ando doon na actually yung interrogation niya sa nanay niya was really fascinating. Baka lang at this point, the film is so raw in my mind, hindi ko pa masyadong naitagpi-tagpi lahat. Most possibly, the answers are there. But I think the only hint there of na hindi nasayang yung issue ng kabaklaan and emotion at may relasyon siya doon sa usaping kabuhayan pa rin ay ang nanay niya is only concerned na be professional. And then he interrogated. So deep inside him, he knows exactly na yung kabaklaan niya is not an impediment at all to livelihood and to a political economic path that he should take.
Well, actually, may points na pinaalala mo sa akin yung mga ideas about yung political economy. That sinabi mo sa akin na hindi pala ako, nasabi ko na hindi ako conscious. Pero at some point, parang nanumbalik at some point, naalala ko siya.
Good.
Pero ayun, so, siguro isa din yun sa mga motivations kung bakit ko din nabuo itong film. Pero pasensya kung hindi ko siya na hindi siya nanumbalik sa akin. Kasi matagal ko na itong binitawang itong pelikula to. Sobrang nag-move on na ako. Lumipat na nga ako ng bahay. So, tsaka hindi pa ito napapanood ng nanay ko. So ayun. So, hindi ko alam kasi mahirap talaga gumawa ng DoQ. And
Oh yes.
Nagkaroon lang talaga ng opportunity na mabuo siya. So, ayun. So, lahat ng nangyari sa pelikulang ito, hindi ko na control, hindi ko alam kung anong mangyayari sa kanya. So, ayun. Patuloy lang ako sa ginagawa ko. Tsaka, ayun.
Okay, round of applause for Nawruz.